Hi, this is Terry from Melrose. Is there still a call?
Hey, Terry, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. I was honestly waiting for Benny to join.
Yeah.
And I haven't. Oh, she'll be there in a couple minutes. And she wants me to claim the host. All right, I will do that right now, which is perfect. And maybe we can start, and when she joins, we could give her kind of a quick recap. But thank you for joining. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I saw your email about the Turtle Island project, right? And then was there also, is it the Night of the Living Res? Is that right?
Yeah, our church is definitely doing that. We have a big touch screen that we can set up, and so we're going to sign into that author talk that those other towns are doing, and then have a book conversation afterwards.
So will you just kind of bring me up to speed on how that works? Is it a more like what other towns are doing that talk specifically?
Oh boy. I'm on my phone, so I can't click over my computer, but I think it's like, it's 3 different towns, and I don't recall what they are. Maybe Maynard and a couple others. So they're the ones who got the author. So we'll be linking into that virtual talk, and then so we'll be watching it in person and then have a book talk afterward. Just have us have a book talk.
Okay. All right. That's perfect. Okay.
So we already have an Eventbrite set up for that. If people want to come to ours, they're welcome to do that, or they could just go to, the towns have a link to do the book talk directly through them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Is that with Amy Ledwell? Is that right? Does that sound right?
Well, Amy is the one who's doing the Turtle Island project.
Okay, so that's separate.
And actually she pronounces it Ame.
Ame. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's helpful. Okay, great. All right. So
and Benny said that you guys were talking about doing an adult panel discussion or something like that.
Yeah, so I spoke with Nicole Friedrichs, who I think she's out of Suffolk University. We talked over the weekend or over this past week about maybe having her come and sort of talk about martial law and land rights. However, she is not an Indigenous person herself. She's more a professor. And so she'd be happy to sort of come and talk about the law, but I think the hope was that we would have someone else join her, maybe that is, an Indigenous person.
Right.
It's just figuring out who that would be. I think is the challenge, and
yeah,
she would be happy to do that, and that would sort of be free of charge to us, which would be really nice. Hey, Benny.
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh my gosh, no worries. We just got started.
Hi, Terry.
Hi there.
So we were talking about the event at Terry's church for Night of the Living Res.
Nice.
And maybe us partnering there. Do you feel like, we could help you advertise it here, but Benny, were you thinking of maybe also holding our own here somewhere in Wakefield, if it's in the library or something like that?
I don't think it makes sense to like split the audience, right? Like having more people all at one event, I think is like
that works.
Make for a better event, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
And then there was the other thing, Terry, that you had emailed me about the Turtle Island like art project thing with Ami.
Right.
So there was, Eileen, there was this
I saw that. It looks,
participant. What'd you say?
I saw the email. It looks really.
Oh, I sent it to you. Okay, great.
Yeah, and she's Wampanoag, so yeah, she does. She is Indigenous, so that's why I felt like it would be really nice to support her and to have an Indigenous focused activity. So, but I realize it's very short notice to get publicity out and things like that. So our folks were excited about the opportunity, but they were just trying to be realistic. Is this something that we can advertise on short notice? But
Yeah,
I mean,
and oh, go
I
ahead.
think we definitely have different channels that we can get the word out there. But I'd love to hear your thoughts too.
Well, I have two thoughts. One is I definitely think that we can buy a little bit of time if we're not tied to doing it right on the long weekend. If we do it like, I don't know if a weekday evening is okay for like people with school age children, or the following weekend, something like that.
Mm.
And then the other thought I had was, I think that we would be able to get a fair amount of interest. Like we often advertise through the schools for family oriented events. Like each of the elementary school principals sends out a newsletter every week.
Mm.
We can get good responses from that, and also advertising through the PTOs for the different PTA, whatever that word is, for the different elementary schools.
Okay.
What date is the 16th? It looks like in the email. Maybe I'm combining the two, but I thought it said she was available on the 9th or the 16th.
Yes. So yes, those dates were both available.
And the 16th is a Saturday? I'm sorry, for some reason I'm freezing.
No, Sunday.
It's a Sunday. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was originally thinking if we held it on our church lawn, then people could be there right after church and we'd have kind of a captive audience of at least, our small church, but then it's kind of a public location on Franklin Street that people driving by, or, depending on publicity, we could find more people to come. And I love your idea about advertising through the schools, and I've heard about that, but I don't really know how to do that in Melrose. But
I will say, I don't know if it's the same in Melrose, but in Wakefield, all of the principals' email addresses are like publicly available. And what we do is we just I send like a group email to all the principals and say, hey, can you include this in your like newsletter to families this week?
Wow.
And then
Okay.
they do that.
Okay.
So I have no idea how things happen in Melrose, but
no, that sounds familiar, but our kids didn't go through the Melrose elementary school. So yeah.
If you go, while we're talking, I'll go see if I can just quickly pull those up, because it might be, they have a staff listing directly on their website, with the directory and everything.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep. See if I can find some of their, the principals, and we could even help, if we did like if we helped like put together a flyer or whatever and get an email out, we could add their names to the distribution list if that was like an easy thing. You know what I mean? It's a joint event.
Right. Okay, that's great.
So do you want to reach back out to Ami and like start to confirm that and nail down like a time and stuff and let us know the info?
Sure. And so first she said, I'll pencil in the 16th. And then our folks said, well, the 9th might be better. But I think, I think pushing it off a week would be better for publicity and things like that. So what are your thoughts? And did you think of, like, do you have a place where you typically hold events? Do you have a space where?
We have held events at the library, there's like a big auditorium, both at the high school and at the middle school. We've held events there, and we've held events at the AmeriHall Civic Center, which is like the Civic Center in Wakefield.
Okay.
So those tend to be the places, or outdoor, which is, I think at that time of year, it would be difficult to do an outdoor event. It would probably be like chilly.
Yeah.
Oh, but you were talking about doing it on your lawn. Yeah. So there's like upsides and downsides to having an outdoor event at that time of year.
Right. It sounds like she has her own tents and tables that she brings, but as long as there's nothing happening in our fellowship hall, that fits, like, I want to say 150 people. So it could be moved inside if it's too cold or rainy. So
How many people do you think will come, Terry, from your church?
It's interesting. I think less for the long weekend. And so I think that would be another plus for pushing it out to the 16th, is that I think more people would come just on a regular weekend rather than a holiday weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, Wakefield also has a town day on the 8th. Which I have no idea how many people will be there for that, but
yeah,
I would say let's do the 16th. If makes a little sense. We'll get a little more people. People are back from that long weekend, and give us that extra week to advertise.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of numbers, it is really varied. But I would think we could probably get 25, children and adults, and possibly more with some publicity around it, that there could be more.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be nice. I think it'll be nice to have a youth-oriented activity event to balance out. Yeah.
Yeah, and the same for us, that we've had the book conversations that are for adults, but we've been talking for over a year about how do we do anti-racism events that engage children and families. So that's why I was really excited to hear about what she was doing. And yeah.
And what day did you say the Night of the Living Res event is that you're doing?
So that's this Thursday, the 29th. And I was saying to Eileen that the libraries are hosting their own virtual event, so they have a link to theirs. But then we did an Eventbrite, because we're going to host it in person in our fellowship hall and all watch it together. So we'll join that library author talk, but then we'll have a book conversation afterwards in person.
Yeah.
So you have an Eventbrite. Do you have like a flyer or anything to advertise it, or is it posted on a website somewhere? Is there a way for us to like pull that so I can push it out to Facebook?
Yes, I think it's on our Melrose Highlands Facebook page. I'm not on Facebook. and I did a little flyer that I can forward to you. And Benny, I don't know, I think I attached our calendar, but I can't remember if I think I put it there with a link both to our Eventbrite and to the library's link if people can't go in person.
Mm-hmm.
But I can send out both again.
I see the link. Free screening of author talk and in-person book conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I can get in touch with Carol who put that up, and we could say, showing with, on behalf of Melrose Highlands and the Wakefield.
Mission.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You want to? Okay, so I'll get in touch with Carol right after this, and hopefully she'll be around to make that change because it's only a couple days.
And then if you want to email, you could email like the WHRC email address saying like the change was made. And as soon as that's made, I can push that right out to Facebook pretty quickly.
Okay, say that again. What?
Yeah, if as soon as she updates it to say like, to include the Wakefield Human Rights Commission.
Yeah.
I can go and take the link and then push that out to our Facebook.
Okay, so
so it shows both.
Sure, but is there a WHRC email that should be listed? Not just the name, but your email?
Sure, it is WHRC@wakefield.ma.us.
Wakefield.ma.us.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what would people be emailing you questions or?
No, I'm just saying, as soon as they update the event page to say that it's sponsored by Melrose Highlands and Wakefield HRC, you can email that email address and let me know. And then,
I see.
And then I can go and update Facebook with the link and everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
and if you have a flyer for it, you can email it to that email address too, and I can use that. Yep.
Yeah, all right. Perfect. Yeah, and then our folks too were saying, can you get a flyer together as soon as possible for the Turtle Island thing? And I was like, well, yes, but I can't do anything until everybody is on board. So
I think we're on board. Benny,
yeah,
totally. What do you think?
I'm excited.
Well, okay, great. Well, even Amy, I think Ame was really excited, and she's like, I penciled you in for this date. And I was like, oh no, I don't even know that that's a real date, but great. So yeah, I think she was excited.
That's so great.
Yeah, and so I can do rudimentary flyers, but we have 3 different people who are artists at church, and they're really the experts. So as long as I can get them the content, they'll put together nice flyers. So do you want to see that before? I'm guessing it's just going to be a picture of her turtle and
her artwork and the information.
Yeah, and then obviously the co-sponsored by the 2 groups.
Yeah, I think that's fine if you want to just do it. I don't feel like I need to sign off on it or whatever.
Okay.
Send it to us, and then we can send it out to all the schools and our mailing list and our Facebook page and all that stuff.
Okay. Great. And I can also, then I'll also check the Melrose principals and see what we can do for the PTO. So,
Cool.
great.
And if I know, so you had mentioned having it at your church. If there was some reason why that was like not ideal, or you wanted us to pursue finding a space in Wakefield, like let us know. We're happy to try
Okay.
to reserve a space somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. So just
Yeah, I don't know your civic center. It seems like it might be too big and maybe dirty for the library. I don't know if they have like art space in your
So
library.
they have a whole youth like area. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't have kids, so I never go there for youth
Yeah,
programming.
yeah,
downstairs in our library, which I think is where like all of the kids' books and stuff are,
yeah.
there's like a little play area. It's kind of like the setup is a little small.
All right. I
But the
remember.
Civic Center, when you come in through the Civic Center on the right-hand side, there's a room that we've used for different events that are a little bit smaller that we could put tables out. And then the auditorium, I'm using the wrong word, the gymnasium, that's it,
Mhm.
at the Civic Center, that could even be cut in half, I think. You know what I mean? Like if they needed to do like 2 basketball courts, they pull that thing in the half in the middle.
Mhm.
But we could use that too. So we've got those spaces.
Let me look at the, I'm looking at the online calendar right now for the Civic Center, because sometimes they book up like pretty
Oh
intensely.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. And
October.
is there a fee for that?
Kind of don't. I don't know. Hold on a second. It says
We have Memorial Hall in
Right.
Melrose, but it's really expensive to rent that space.
let's see, Heritage Room. It says there's something in there at 8 a.m. on the 16th and at 3 p.m. 8 to 10. So it looks like, just by looking at this calendar, the like publicly available like room booking calendar,
Yeah.
is that between 10 and 3 it would be available. And I don't know about the fee. I don't think there's like a huge fee, but let me look, because we're at Wakefield. We're like part of the town of Wakefield. We're a municipal body.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like sometimes we can get these things. Hold on. I feel like I just saw something having to do with the fee and now I can't find it.
Benny, does the town hall itself have its own, like,
There's a conference room. I keep hearing people say there's a conference room on the 2nd floor, but I've never been there, so I don't know what it's
never
like.
been in there? Okay.
Plus on a Sunday, I don't think they would be open.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, right. But would they open the building for public events?
I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm not sure about the fee. I can get back to you about that. But that heritage room, I think would be like perfect. It's got beautiful light. It's big enough for like a, really decent number of people. This says it's 32 by 34 feet.
It's pretty big.
That sounds great. I mean, what do you think about having it there?
Yeah. Let me just, okay.
Can you
I
see
feel
what
great
the-
about having it there. I'm happy to put in the room request. I'll do it now so that, it doesn't get snapped up or whatever.
Mhm.
Benny, can you tell what's in there from 8 to 10?
Boys soccer.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. They're obviously not playing soccer in the heritage room, but maybe they like put all their stuff in there while they go play on the
Oh, yeah.
field next door, something like that.
Or maybe they're having a breakfast or.
Oh yeah, that's true. It could be something like that. But if we do, did Ame say what time on the 16th she was talking about?
She was saying 11 to 1.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But again, I was talking about right after church so that people go right there. So it seemed like, I think she had said that she's free that afternoon. So if it was 11:30 or 12, that
Okay, cool.
I think she,
Great.
Okay, let me put in the request for the room and then I'll keep you all posted. If for some reason they say like, oh, no, I don't even know what reason it would be. For some reason, if it was unavailable, I'll let you all know, but we can plan on doing it there. Unless something else comes up.
Mhm.
Yeah. So great. Oh, I'm excited.
I know, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
We could also send this to the Boys and Girls Club. They use that same building Monday through Friday. So, and they're Stoneham and Wakefield.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great idea. Yeah, I know the Boy Scouts use our church for a lot of their meetings, but I don't know how to reach out to them.
Awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
think this will be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What else? Are there other things between our two groups that would be good to iron out or talk about?
I was saying that I talked to Nicole Friedrichs
Oh, yeah.
earlier this week, and we talked a lot about how like she's also planning things right now and using resources and what does that look like, and so she's struggling, you know, too. But she said that if we did ever want her to come and talk about sort of land rights, then she'd be happy to do that. But she is not of, you know, Native American descent. And so, you know, that's something for us to be aware of. That would be a totally free talk, you know. And maybe Benny, maybe we do that. We have her come to like one of our meetings for 20 minutes in the beginning and she does something there. I don't know, versus like the original thought of doing like a panel. I just don't know who we would pair her with.
Well, I got a response back from Claudia Foxtree, who's like
Oh yeah.
a big hitter in the like Massachusetts area. Like she does a ton of educational programming around Indigenous issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at different events and stuff, you will see her name on
On everything,
everything.
right?
I've
Yeah.
seen her name. Yeah.
So she responded to me. I forwarded you this email, Eileen. And so, but I think
see
it
it.
would involve, we have to talk about some options here because her typical fee is $2,000. And she says 2 times in her email, like, please reach out to me if you want to talk about the fee. Like, you know.
Yeah.
She says as of when I got the email from her, which was 4 days ago, she was available on certain days for just for a virtual event. On other days, she would have a possibility of doing something in person. One of the in-person possible days is the 15th, the day before the art project that we just have been planning. So that could be, I don't know if it's good to have them clumped together or if it would be better to have them spaced out. I don't know what you all's thoughts are, because her options were the 12th, Tuesday, the 12th, no, what day is that? To Wednesday, Thursday or something, the 12th of October in the evening would be a virtual option. Saturday, the 15th in the afternoon could be in person or virtual. The 26th in the evening, virtual or in person. And she says she can also do Fridays, but I'm guessing Fridays are like not a good option for an event. So.
I wonder if we did later in the month and we look to see if Reading would want to partner with us. I know that they have like a small craft event happening earlier in October, but they don't have anything after that. I wonder if she'd be open to it. $2,000 is a lot for us, but you know, if we split it.
Yeah, and also if we talk to her about like, you know, we're a municipal body, you know, we have kind of our entire budgetary for the year is $1,000. So it's like,
Oh, wow.
but
Right.
we
And
might
is
be able to squeeze, I think we can also squeeze a little more money out of the city sometimes. I mean, out of the town.
Is that $2,000 virtual or in person, both?
I think so.
Yeah.
She said if it's in person, there could, depending on your location, there could also be like more if there's like a lot of travel.
Travel
I don't know
fee,
where
yeah.
she lives, but I don't think it's that far from here.
Mm.
Like, I think it's in the Boston area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be amazing. That would be fantastic to have her talk. Do you
Yeah.
think that pairing her with Nicole would make sense, or do you think it would be sort of a separate? I kind of feel like we should do something separate.
Yeah, like it could be, so I feel like the two options could be I don't know if a panel discussion is the right word, but like, you know, like both of them speaking on the same day, you know, from these two different perspectives, or a series of having two different events. The problem with two different events, I think, is just like some people might be able to make it to one and not the other, and then you only get kind of like half of the
Right.
stuff. Like if people were able to make it to Nicole's but then didn't make it to Claudia's, I feel like that would be not great.
It's a little unclear if Claudia would do a panel or if like
Just
she has her own
talk, yeah.
presentation that she does on her own, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to like volunteer her for a panel, but if it was a
series of speakers.
Yeah, I
over time.
could go back to her and say like we have, and she may even know, like she may know Nicole. It's possible. Like Nicole is on the board of like one of the other organizations that I reached out
Right.
to and stuff like that. So I think she's very involved in the community.
Mhm.
But I could say like we also happen to have this connection to Nicole Friedrichs, who it would be interesting to us to have her speak. I want to know your thoughts. Like, would you want to be on the same bill with her? Would you want us to do it as two separate events? Just like get her
That'd be great.
thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to reach out to Reading in the meantime and see if they want to partner with us on that? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think this would be great because the more we can sort of start to build these relationships with everybody around, I just feel like it will make for stronger, the like possibility for stronger events right now, but like every year, you know, all the time we could be collaborating more, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Which reminds me, I just wrote a note to get back in touch with Betsy Garrett of the Melrose IPD. She had emailed about what they're doing this year, and I forget, to be honest. But she said to keep her posted on the calendar and what we were doing. So I think she also has her own outreach that she's been doing. The other thing that struck me, and I may have mentioned this before, in terms of a panel, there's a woman at our church who went to Wellesley, and she was in touch with a faculty member there who has written books and works on Indigenous issues. I think her most recent book was about Native Americans and horses, but she was happy to speak for free a couple years ago. I get probably during COVID that she would do a virtual talk. So I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at her website, and but it strikes me we had that connection that she's not Indigenous herself, but she was also willing to speak on her background and expertise.
Cool. Well, I'm thinking maybe the place to start would be to reach back out to Claudia and say, we would love to have you for possibly for this date later in the month, the 26th. It's a Wednesday evening. What are your thoughts about that? She said the 26th, either 5, 6, or 7 in the evening for either a virtual or in person.
I think people that are commuting into Boston, just from looking at the traffic and sitting in it, Wednesdays are the days where people are the most likely driving into Boston. So if we do something, maybe we do it like closer to 6 or 7.
Yep.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
for
that-
our folks,
Same.
that's a better time for us too. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we would do virtual or in person?
This is such a tough call these days. I feel like there's something particularly valuable about an in-person event, and it's hard to let go of the convenience of the virtual event also.
No, right.
I know.
My
convenient,
personal
easy.
like immediate reaction would be to do it in person, but curious what you two think.
And does she, I don't remember exactly what she does. Is it hands-on kind of
It would
program?
be I think it would be a talk.
A talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the rooms that you use are set up to be Zoom rooms where you could do both, because that's kind of the best of both worlds.
If we did it at like the library, or if we did it really anywhere, but if we did it at the library, WCAT, the community access television could come and film it. They've offered to do that for us in the past. And we've done both virtual and in person with them.
That would be kind of cool, because then people could go and watch it afterwards, right? Or no?
Sorry, she said that she does not allow her talks to be recorded.
Oh, okay.
No.
And so but I think that one possible option would be to do it. There are a couple spots in town where they are set up to do simultaneous Zoom and live events. I think at the WCAT studios they can do it, and I think at Town Hall they can do it, but it would be like the conference room. It's not a big space. But maybe, I'm not totally sure. We could reach out to either the town or to WCAT and see, find out what facilities are equipped to do hybrid events.
And
actually,
right. And our church can do both. We have the streaming capability, so it could be streamed live in our church hall. So it's just, we'd set up seats and so that could be both in person and virtual.
Yeah, that's true. I think that probably any space could be, we could have WCAT come and do live streaming, I bet. It's just the actual hybrid interactive portion. Like if a person who is viewing from home wanted to ask a question, I think there's only certain spaces where we would have the equipment to do that. I don't know. I'll have to ask. Is your space set up to be able to do that, Terry?
I think so.
Huh.
You don't know.
When we did we did a virtual Pride panel, and WCAT did it, and it was live, and they did it live through YouTube. And I manned the questions, but no one else could see the questions. Do you know what I mean? So they came up and I just reviewed them. It's not like we had thousands of them. I think we had 2. So it was sort of an easy thing to just be set, I'm sitting at my desk at home and just watching it. But we could ask them. We could definitely ask them. And I don't know, I love our library for things like that. Even we just had, we did a Hispanic Heritage Month event with music and everything, and their lobby is just so beautiful. It's just nice, great space. I wonder if they'd let us do that again there. I don't know. But it's an idea. We could ask them. But the difference
I
was,
love going to
it
the
was-
library.
Mhm.
I know, right? But the difference was they posted it to YouTube after the fact. So we'd want to make sure that they didn't do that. That like
Right.
Claudia didn't want her presentation there. So
Yeah. Yeah, and back to her fee, we do have a grant that we could use for this kind of thing. I don't know, the 500 for Ame was easy to do, but I don't know about 2,000, but
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we can split it. Like we do have some money, and I think that the WHRC, I'm thinking could, I don't know, what do you think, Eileen, put up like a couple $100s? You have a better sense after having talked to Steve than I do about how much we might be able to use.
I think if we could split it if we first talk to her and see if she would lower it slightly, because we are both municipal and congregation, like I think that if we could get that down, that would be great. But then if we could split it 3 ways, then I feel like, or some way we may be able to get
Like
Steve
if
to
she would
approve
go
it.
down to how, like I'll contact her and ask her, do you want me to ask like 1,500,
I was thinking 15.
1,200? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, if we did 15, and Terry, you were thinking like you could do 500, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think another 500.
I think that would be totally like I think he'd be on board with that.
Mm.
And I'm emailing Sudeshna right now, so I'll see if she's interested.
You're emailing what? Oh, should I? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know folks from the Melrose Human Rights Commission, but do you guys partner with them? Might they?
I have never been in contact with the Melrose Human Rights. I actually tried to reach out to them once. This was like quite a while ago and never got a response, but I might have been like emailing some long defunct email address or something. There's always a little bit of wonkiness.
Yeah, and I think there was a person who had been there for years, and there was turnover or a new person. So our former minister was involved in that group, but yeah, I don't know folks there.
We could ask Maureen. I was talking with Maureen earlier this week, and I get the impression that she's in contact with someone over there. So I could see if I could get a name.
Okay.
Maureen Butt is one of our town council people.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I'll email Claudia back, ask her if we can plan for the 26th, Wednesday, the 26th. I'll ask her if she's open to a hybrid event that would not be recorded, but would be live streamed. It would be both in person and virtual.
For questions and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And I will ask her about the fee. And I will ask her about if she's open to having it be not a joint event, but like having Nicole also there, or if she thinks it would be like better to have those be 2 separate things.
And then you're thinking that this would be at the library or in?
Well, one question is, yeah, like where are we equipped to do a hybrid event? And maybe with WCAT's support, it could be anywhere, or maybe
Okay.
there's only certain spaces where it could happen. So let me do a little research about that.
If we decide we want to use our library, it looks like they have an event in the morning, but it's virtual, and then nothing after 4 o'clock.
Cool. Do you think that room, are you thinking of the room in the basement?
I'm actually thinking about the lobby.
Huh. Would they do a talk, you think, in the lobby area?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is nice.
And does the library have funding to do?
That's another great question. And the nice thing about that is if it's an official library event, then they advertise it through their
Themselves.
stuff. Like that has huge reach to like just so many people.
Yeah.
Great point. Okay. Well, so what do you think? Maybe I'll reach out to the library first and ask them if they'd be interested in co-sponsoring. Before going down the path of like what other spaces are equipped for this type of thing.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they co-sponsored, that would be Wakefield, Melrose Highlands, Reading, and the library, and then the fee would even be less.
Yeah.
Or would the library just pay the fee and then we come and help them set up chairs? I'm really good at moving chairs around.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll contact the Wakefield Library. Cool.
That sounds very exciting too. Yeah.
What's Ame's last name?
Ludwell, I think.
Ledwell. Yeah.
Ludwell, yeah.
Yeah.
It's spelled like the French spelling of Amy, like A-I-M-E-E.
Yep.
But pronounced Ame.
Okay, so that's 10/16. Claudia is 10/26. Night of the Living Res is this Thursday, the 29th.
9/29. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Think of how much we could do next year with like trying to squeeze
with planning ahead
2 weeks before.
I know, it's amazing.
Oh.
Okay, cool. I will just let you know, there was another organization that I reached out to and responded, but I haven't, they said, let me get a hold of this. It's a place called the Sassafras Earth Education. It's called Sassafras Earth Education. They're on, I think, Martha's Vineyard or Nantucket. I think they're on Martha's Vineyard. They're a Indigenous land education group. And they were like, you've reached out to the right place. And they said that the person that they would recommend to do a speaking engagement for us is a person named David Two Arrows. And they said, let me contact him and get back to you, but then they haven't gotten back to me. So I think what I will do is if they get back to me, I might say, like, thank you so much. Let's be in contact for next year or something. Like, does that sound okay?
Is he the one that's a new the tribal council leader that was written up in the Globe? Am I thinking?
I have no idea.
He would be awesome if it's the person I'm thinking of. What is it? David Two Arrows?
David Two Arrows Vanderhoop.
I think it might be a young guy.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about him. He's one of the
founders.
Founders of this Earth Education Center.
Okay. No, I think it's a different person.
In any event, because the other thing is that we got this info from another one of our HRC commissioners about an event. It sounds like that maybe she went to recently, a water blessing ceremony in Malden. And so I'm picturing if we plan ahead for next year, maybe we could contact this person that she connected us to, and maybe these folks from the Sassafras Earth Education, and haven't, you know what I mean? We can be thinking about events for next year.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm thinking about Wakefield that has the lake is such a iconic part of town. So speaking about like water rights and water from an Indigenous perspective, and
Right.
the Saugus River and like all this kind of stuff, I think would be really cool.
Maybe we could partner. There's like a Friends of Lake Quannapowitt, right? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could totally partner with them.
Yeah.
Speaking of partnering, I did reach out to Whiteland Books and the Albion Cultural Exchange and never got any answers. So
bummer.
Maybe another time.
What was I going to say? We did our land acknowledgement for the first time at the Hispanic Heritage event. So that was super cool. It was like really awesome to be able to say it. And the last line talks about the mascot. And so it was a little of like, okay, thanks for letting me share. Bye now.
What, I'd love to hear it. What is the last line?
Oh gosh, let me pull
You
it
can
up.
hear the whole thing even.
Oh yeah, hear the whole
And I
thing.
felt bad that I didn't get to say, I just dove right in and didn't get to say our land acknowledgement on that call with Matoi and Heather, but go.
I took a screenshot of it so I didn't have to like carry it around a piece of paper. So it says, the Wakefield Human Rights Commission acknowledges that the land we now call Wakefield are the ancestral homelands of the Massachusetts people who have been the caretakers of the unceded land for centuries and will continue to be for centuries to come. We are settlers. The Massachusetts people have been tirelessly striving for human rights, even in the face of land theft, genocide, and forced removal. The work we do to build a more unified, equal, and diverse community grows out of the efforts, leadership, and guidance of countless Native communities. We commit to honoring this continued Native activism we do for our work. In doing so, we dedicate time in our meetings to help educate those in the community about the Native people of Massachusetts, past, present, and their work towards the future. We stand with the Massachusetts tribe at Ponkapog in their fight to prohibit the use of Native American mascots in the Commonwealth.
Oh.
I didn't know like how everyone would react after I said it, right? And it was just like silent. I was like, thanks for letting me share that. Okay, here you go, Sherry. And like literally handed the mic off to Sherry Oken. But it was just one of those things that's like, will I be dragged out into the street, or will people applaud, or like, what will we do now? But it was totally fine. We'll just keep
Yeah, it's interesting because like we added that line for two reasons. One is like to like underscore that like the land acknowledgement is not just a statement, it should be like connected to action. Like here are things that we are doing to act in support of Indigenous rights. One. Two, Wakefield, I don't know how much you know about this drama, Terry, but Wakefield like had like a very sort of like divisive thing that happened last year around our school sports mascot.
Right.
So at the time that we wrote this, that was like more recently in the rearview mirror.
Right.
Anyway.
It's so good to get it out there that you're on the side of groups that are trying to do away with mascots and keeping it fresh in people's minds.
Well, the other thing that we have envisioned this statement as like evolving and growing and like can change depending on what the, what's important in the moment. And since it's an Indigenous Peoples Day event, I wonder if we can highlight the Native peoples of Massachusetts and their advocacy to replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, nice.
Instead of the mascot, like at our IPD event.
That very last line, we could do that.
Or both.
Yeah, exactly. Or add it. Yeah.
Right. So we were, the last Indigenous Peoples Day, we did that free screening of 2 movies that were made in Maine. And then I think it was the same group that did the movie Fight, or maybe it was different, but we were thinking about screening Fighting Indians, which is about, it's a documentary about, I don't remember which town, but trying to get rid of the Indian mascot.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think there are other towns besides Wakefield nearby, like Saugus, that are hanging
Right.
on their mascots.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a deep connection, and they're not thinking about the imagery, they're thinking about,
Hmm.
their history in the town and how that like emotionally connected to people. So I understand it, but it's also an image that's now inappropriate.
Yeah.
And so it's time for change, But yeah, I'll work on adding that other line, Benny, and you can take a look at it for
Yeah, sounds good. I will also, as one of her like standard practices, it looks like
Mhm.
Claudia asks to see what our land acknowledgement is. And so I will send it to her and let her know that we'd be interested in adding a line to
Mm.
highlight the struggle to have Indigenous Peoples Day recognized instead of Columbus Day. And, see if she has any
great.
suggestions about that. Cool. All right.
Yours is beautiful. I can share ours. I don't have it with me, but I can share ours as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, because if we would be doing a co-sponsored event, like we're all on the same land, it's all Massachusetts land. And so
Right.
I don't know, whatever, but I'm wondering, like, would it make sense to share both of our statements?
Maybe we write one for the event jointly. I don't know.
Yeah, we do one at one event and one at the other event.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. Well, this sounds great.
This is great. We've got so much stuff
Cool.
now. I know. It's exciting.
Do we feel like we want to have another meeting, or we are limited, Terry, in terms of communicating by email because we're bound by the public meeting laws, so we cannot, what's the word, deliberate or something?
Right.
By
You could
email.
always send us information and one of us could communicate back that we got it, but typically we just can't discuss like planning or things like that.
Okay.
Where's the plan?
So if we think that we'll need another meeting to touch base about additional planning stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we may want to set that up. I think most of what we talked about can be sort of like put in motion without a lot of additional decision making, but who knows, maybe we'll need more.
Mm-hmm.
So we might want to put something on the calendar just to be able to check in.
Just to have
Yeah.
it.
I'm also thinking about a flyer for Claudia's event.
Yes.
What that would look like. And I don't know if she has imagery that she uses for.
Yeah, if she has any kind of headshot or anything, I can ask her about that, because I'm happy to get my Canva skills on and make a flyer. Once we have, if she has a bio or if she has any materials that she would want to.
Right.
Yeah, I can do that.
And so do you want to try to set a date just to hold something on the calendar just in case?
Yeah. What would we want to do? Like 2 weeks from now, or more sooner than that, or what?
I'm a little unclear if I will be here on the 8th, but if we want to do something if you're available in the evening, like 4th, 5th, or 6th or something.
At this point, 5 looks good.
Yeah, I can't do the 6th, but I could do the 5th.
Yeah, the 5th looks good for me.
Me too.
Okay.
What time do you want to do?
I don't know, 6:30 or 7.
Yeah, 6:30 is good for me.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, I will send that to Sherry and get that posted. 6:30. Great.
Okay. And so I'll email stuff to the WHRC email,
Mhm.
the flyer stuff, and I'll send our land acknowledgement just so you have it if you want to use that. And anything else that I said I would do?
Remind me, we're doing Ami's event. Oh, that's what we're figuring out, is if we can do it in the Heritage Room, right? That's the one.
Yeah, I'm gonna send, right when we finish right now, I'm gonna send a reservation request to the Civic Center.
Okay,
Get
cool.
that.
And if not, I think it's fine to do it at our church, indoor or outdoor. I did fly it by the minister, and I think she would have said if there was a conflict, but I can just double check. So
Okay.
if that room isn't available, we can go back to the front lawn idea.
Yeah, that sounds good. I will keep you posted.
Okay. And vice versa for the Claudia talk. If our fellowship hall would be helpful with the live streaming, we could do that.
Okay. Yeah, let me get a hold of the library. If for some reason that's a no or is not possible for whatever reason,
Right.
I'll send you a note and then you can check and see about your
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
Okay, great.
I just found your Facebook page and I found the link and the whole deal. And so I will go and share the event like right now.
Okay.
For this
And
week.
can you write in there somehow?
And we're
wait,
partnering on it. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, great.
I'll do that as part of like the post.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
This is
right.
fabulous.
Yeah, thanks
I'm
so
like
much.
really excited. I feel like we're pulling together some like really fabulous stuff.
I mean, Claudia Fox Tree. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I appreciate, Terry, you being willing to collaborate with us, coming to our meetings and everything. This is like really great.
Yeah, no, it's exciting to be doing activities that will hopefully make a difference for people. So
Yeah.
great.
All right. Thanks,
Well, have a
everybody.
good Saturday.
Fabulous. Yeah, have a good couple of weeks and talk
Yeah,
to you
you too.
soon.
All
Okay.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.